Greetings and welcome to DevLook at Lords of Xulima version 0.13.3 beta by a company called Numantian Games, and I really hope I didn't mess up any of those words. I think the Numantian Games is based in Spain, so that explains a bit the some strange words in this game. But yeah, Lords of Xulima is a 2D isometric turn-based RPG. It's a Kickstarter game actually, so it raised a bit more than $35,000 on a Kickstarter in end of November 2013, so it hasn't been that long ago actually. And now we have a first version on Steam Early Access that we can try out. And it's pretty good. But let's start by going to the options menu and having a look at what we have here. So you have a separate audio settings, so you can change quite a lot of things, including effects, ambient, music and voice. No master control, but you know, I think this is enough. You can pick language and change the time to show tooltip, which can be quite useful. Then you can pick your resolution, toggle the graphic engine, which is effectively a renderer, so it's either DirectX or OpenGL. You can toggle VSync and then can enable or disable colorblind mode. And yeah, you know, that's always nice to have. Alright, then before going into my old save that I prepared for this video, let's take a look at the new game. So you have 3 difficulties here, and they actually just recently changed it to 3. It was 2 before. And I started playing on normal, which later changed into this old school veteran, and I didn't notice the update, and I was playing on this one. And it was dreadful. I was just dying so much. So deep was I will skip the introduction here to not spoil the story. It's actually pretty good, so if you want to find out about it, I will recommend buying the game. Alright, so you have 2 picks when you start, either quick start, that's what I did the first time, or create your custom party. Let's do that now and I will show you the character creation. So again, you have 2 picks. You can either generate a random character or create a new one. So it's actually pretty simplistic. So again, you get a pick from between a man and woman. You get a pick an avatar. There's not that many of them, but a decent amount, I guess. Then you can pick a class, which obviously affects your attributes and your skills. And then you can pick a god. Not sure what this affects actually. I did not create my characters myself, as I already said, and I did not get as far into the game to discover the relation between the gods and the characters that I actually have. And the last step is that you have to pick the weapon that your character uses. I guess the starting weapon, maybe it changes the some things as well. But yeah, so that's about it. You create a party of 6 characters, I guess. So in addition to your main character, who's like threaded into the storyline, and then you just start. Okay, let's go to the main menu again and load my save game. This one. I played around 3 hours, I think, and I barely got out of the first huge map because I was playing on the old school veteran difficulty, and that was hard. Oh man, that was so hard. Alright, so here you can see my party, and this indicates that they just recently leveled up. I saved here specifically to show you the level up mechanics as well. And then you have all that stuff around. So first let's have a look at the map. So this is the map of the area that I'm in. You can change area. So here you can see there's a different road to Napros, and this is the coast where I actually arrived on my ship. And then I guess there's the road there, and maybe there's as well a road there, but the enemies here are too tough. I cannot pass them yet. So you have to level up before that. And here you can see the hour, date, and coordinates. So hour and date are very important for the gameplay because they affect quite a lot of stuff happening in this overworld. And wait, sorry. Then we have a world map as well that actually depicts the whole world thing. So I believe that so far I explored only this small part, and like, I mean, it took me 3 hours. And I just got here into this part around this castle here. Okay, so then we have our characters. So they obviously have attributes as in any RPG, so we can hover over that to see what they do. So they have the strength, constitution, agility, speed, and energy, which each of them affects different things. So like, you know, if you're a mage, you want more energy. If you're a tank, you want more constitution, you know, typical RPG stuff. Then you have 6 resistances, and you have your life points, power points, which is effectively mana here. You have various attack, this is a physical attack actually, modifiers. So you have a basic attack thing, you have the max damage thing, you have the bleeding, stun, and wound modifiers. And you have defense, which is stacked from your gear. So the interesting thing about gear is that you cannot just put everything on your character. So, for example, this guy, he's a very tanky, he has a lot of strength and constitution, and as you can see here, he has a lot of weight capacity. So weight capacity is something that actually defines what you can wear. So he can wear a scale armor and, you know, shield and a huge mace and some brass gauntlets and some colossus boots. But this girl, for example, she's a rogue, so she has only 13 weight capacity, and she can wear only a pretty light thing like fur and cloth armor. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Okay, so let's do a level up here quickly. So when leveling up, you get to use your attribute points and skill points. So attribute points, you get 2 of them per level, and you know, since this guy is a melee, let's just put them in strength and constitution. Okay, I want swords, and I want what I get. There's quite a lot of skills actually. Do I want object? Yeah, I guess let's go for object identification here. And there is a lot of skills that obviously depend on your... Okay, I want some energy here on your class. Oh, I'll get some nice new skills in next level. Cool. But yeah, as well, you know, you have to actually be careful about what you pick, because as far as I understood, there is no reset or anything like this in the game. Okay, speed and maybe a bit strength, and then daggers are enough, I guess. Let's get some... Ah, quick strike. Nice. Let's get quick strike. Trap disarming, lock picking. So yeah, you do have things like trap disarming, lock picking. In the overworld again, you need lock picks for that. I don't think I have any, which would actually be a good idea to buy some from merchant now. Okay, let's get this guy. Let's see what he has. Bloody strike. Yeah, let's get the bloody strike. And we have something else. Armors, bodybuilding. What does it do? Hit points. Yeah, perfect. Let's get that. Alright. Let me think. We get that. We get maybe a bit more speed. Since she's our healer, I don't really care about her efficiency with weapons or anything else. So get more meditation. Or can we do something better? Divine armor. Yeah, I guess we can go for bleeding, because bleeding status effect is a huge pain in the ass in this game. Okay, energy and maybe agility. Again, this guy is a mage, so I don't care much about his proficiency with weapons and armor. He's in the back. So yeah, that has leveled up, you know, your typical RPG leveling up. Nothing very interesting here. Okay, so those icons on the bottom are a bit interesting and a bit unique to the game, I'd say. So this one is rest. You can rest in safe zones, like for example in city or somewhere in the fields where there's no enemies nearby. You can rest for a specific time, for a full day, which actually heals fatal wounds as well. I will talk about those a bit later. Or you can rest until all of your characters are healed to their maximum HP. So this doesn't actually heals the fatal wounds, for example. Okay, and then you can rest until your party is awakened by enemies or you run out of food, which is not a good thing. So this food it's talking about is here. You have the food reserves, and once you run out of them, you will start losing HP. Your party basically starts dying, and you have to actually keep an eye on this counter. It's very important. Okay, next thing is your combat formation. So those are my melee guys, and they're in front, and those are my mages and archers, and they're in the back. and I will show you how it works once we are in the combat. Then you have your journal, so you have your main story, active missions, cleared missions. I won't show this to evade spoilers. You have note on maps. This is actually very important because, again, I won't show this because there are some spoilers in there. But those notes are pretty cool because, you know, you get to talk to people in the city and you can actually find out things like, you know, oh, there are spirits in the forest who appear at midnight, and if you answer their riddle correctly, you will get treasure. And like if you go to the forest at midnight, you can actually find those spirits and answer their riddle, which is usually a question about the world, and you will have to read a lot of text to know about that by talking to other NPCs here. So if you're not into reading text, this game is probably not for you. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot of RPG stuff going on. Then you have a bestiary, which is basically a list of enemies that you encountered with all their weaknesses and, you know, analysis and how many of them you killed. So it's pretty good. And then we have stuff like party stats, scoring achievements, and some help manuals, so boring things. Alright, then we have torches. You can use them to light your way in night or in the caves, like undergrounds. And you have one more interesting thing, which is herbal recipes. So you can actually gather herbs while walking around in the overworld, and then craft different things from them. So the first ones work like, so they replenish your food reserves. It's a cereal plant, and it's quite frequently, you can encounter it quite frequently. And then you have all those additional plants that are less frequent in the world, but they add permanent, they generate permanent upgrades to your, to your characters. So here, for example, if we craft 10 of those and add it to any of the characters below, we will get 1 point of cold resistance permanently. So that's a pretty interesting idea. And the gathering works in a pretty simple way. I will show you right here because we have a plants here, so we can just go and grab all of those. Let's see how many we need to actually craft our one full day. It's actually generally a good idea. So this is the basic cereal plant. You can actually gather it here, and then there's this farmer guy, so you can either just keep it for yourself or sell it. Let's see, 33, so we need a bit more. So you can either keep it for yourself and use it in a field, you know, it's actually good to have a bit of a supply of this thing to just not die from starvation. Or you can just talk to this guy and he'll say, I'm happy to buy this stuff. So yeah, so you can give him grain and he will give you money, which I think is not very useful because the money is not the main problem in this game. Alright, let's go here to the merchant. And I'd like to trade, so let's see, do I have anything to sell? Yeah, so this is just a crappy ring, doesn't have any buffs, so this actually has something, and this one as well. Alright, I guess I want to buy some lockpicks. Does he have lockpicks? Yeah, he does, okay. Let's buy like, I don't know, 10 of them maybe. I have torches. Okay, I think we're safe on everything else. He does not seem to have any better weapons than I do. So you can like right click the weapon to compare it, and as you can see, the stuff that I have is actually quite better because it's a rare weapon, not just a simple one, so we'll just leave here. And then you have a second type of merchant, which is a food merchant. As you can see here, you can spend some money to fill your food reserves for 3 days. The interesting thing about that is that when I click that, it will not add 3 days to what I have, but it actually will make it 3 days. And the price does not change depending on, you know, what amount of food you already have, which is a bit strange from my perspective. Okay, I don't want anything else. Alright, so now we can go to the overworld, I guess. Let's use a teleport stone here. So yeah, you have this teleport stones, which is a quick travel basically. Once you discover them, you can use them to quickly warp between the zones. So go here. Yeah, so I mean, maybe can explain a bit about food. Meanwhile, the food decreases when you move around. So once you're stationed, basically nothing happens. So the turns don't, the time doesn't doesn't ticks, let's say so, and you know nothing changes in the world. But once you start moving, the time ticks and the food decreases. So, and depending on what surface you are moving on, the food decreases with different rates. So if you go in a road or in a village, the food decreases less than rather than when you go inside of a forest, for example. Alright, here we go. That's my greatest achievement with that game. I almost got to the first castle here. So as you can see, this is a different zone. This is where I need to go. And all of those roads are blocked by very scary soldiers that just murder me if I encounter them. But I managed to make my way all the way around here. That wasn't easy, but I got here. Okay, let's see, where do we go? So let's try to find some trouble. Okay, what's that? Nabor's Castle. Okay, here we go. So this is the enemy. And we can attack them and show you some combat. Alright, there's actually just 2 of them and they are not exactly the scariest enemy. Okay, so this is how the combat looks. I have my 6 guys here and there's 2 of the guys here. This on the right side is the order of initiative, basically, of the characters on the screen. So as you can see, my rogue will go first, and then there will be the archer guy, and there will be the big scary guy in the front, and then all my guys here again. The combat works in a pretty simple way. So your character has a weapon that he can use on a specific rows in front of him. So the enemies are positioned in the same way like you, 5x5. And yeah, so she has a dagger, so she can use it on 3 enemies in front of her. So let's actually use a skill. And I missed. Okay, that was actually evasion. It is, for some reason, has the animation of shield. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's actually evasion. And he applies bleed on me. This is not very good. Okay, so you have 1 action per turn, and you can do 3 things, or actually 4. So you can either attack, you can defend, you can use consumable, if you have any, obviously, or you can switch places. So this is useful once, for example, if my rogue kills guys here and she cannot reach the guy here, I can actually swap her places here and, you know, attack them in a different location. God damn it, what's wrong with my guys? Okay, I guess let's do a buff here. Okay, that's my healer, so we can mend bleeding here quickly. Okay, and my mage guy has a very scary, powerful spells. He has 7 HP left. Okay, let's try get that guy. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially the whole combat. You know, it looks very simplistic, and I mean, it has very simple rules, let's put it so. But actually, the combat itself is pretty challenging, especially when you play on a higher difficulties. Okay, let's hit him again. Does not want to bleed. Okay, then bleeding this guy. And then do we have, yeah, let's just smack him and he dies. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, I mean, you know, the combat does looks pretty simple, and that's mostly because of the rules are pretty simple and straightforward. It's very old school, very, I guess you can say very Dungeons and Dragons, but the thing is, if you play on hard difficulty, oh man, it's so challenging. It's just, it took me tries after tries to just beat some enemies and progress further. It was really hard, but it was pretty enjoyable. Okay, so we won some XP and some gold, didn't find any items, which is a bit sad. But yeah, so the other interesting things, some mushrooms here, is that let's actually save the game. Saving frequently is a useful thing to do. Yeah, the other interesting thing is that you can actually get random encounters here. So as you can see here, I have enemy presence. And there are a few enemies nearby. That means that if I walk around here, I can actually encounter them. And since I know that I'm near the castle, that most likely will be a huge band of guards, and they will probably kill me quickly. Let's try to actually trigger them. Let's get that. Oh, there's a... yeah, so as you can see here, for example, those are the guards I was awaiting, and there's like 10 of them, and they are really scary, and they have 2 mages. And I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, so that's the Lords of Xulima. A lot of dialogues, a lot of tactical combat. It's pretty good. Pretty nice animations. Pretty awesome storyline, actually. I should know that. very interesting world. It's been, you know, it has this vibe of Heroes of Might and Magic. Actually, it's been a long time since I've seen anything like this. I don't have enough strengths to open that. There is quite a lot of different puzzles and quests in overworld as well. So you have like lock picking and traps disarming and various traps that can kill you or cripple your characters and stuff like this. So it's pretty interesting, you know. It's really cool to even just go around and explore this. Is this guy top as well? Yeah. Enemies close. Okay, I guess this is the guy. Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's available right now on Steam Early Access for $17 or your original equivalent. And thank you for watching, and see you during the next update. Bye!